Greetings, Commanders. Welcome on in to Supercruise News episode 52. I am Zac, one of the community managers here at Frontier on Elite Dangerous, and I'm also joined by Senior Community Manager, Mr. Bruce Credo. How are you doing today, Bruce?
Hello, Zac. I'm doing really well, thanks. I hope everyone who's joining us is also doing really well. I'm pleased to be here and speak with all of you.
Indeed, yeah, there's lots of people in the chat. Nice to see everyone. Who have we got? Let me do some shout outs. We've got Ronin, '07, Black Knight, '07, The Knight Arch, hello. Thomas McFly, Burpit, hello. Heather, hello. Winged Bacon, nice name, hello. Anyone you want to shout out, Bruce?
Well, Arborich has done a highlighted message on Twitch to say Zac and Bruce, the beauty tag team. I was about to say, well, not really, because there's the other pair. But then I thought, well, actually, Arthur is on that pair, so maybe they are right. I don't know if I don't know how it all balances out.
I'm not getting involved in this discussion. I'll stay well out of
it. You're just gonna let me keep digging that hole. Okay. Lots of 07s in the chat. So Basil Stone, Cyber Hunter, Gork, welcome. Bunny Claw, Tori, Fulgan. I haven't got the YouTube chat up just yet, but I'm sure we have lots of people over there as well. So 07 to all of you.
Yep. Combat Opossum says Zac with the ominous red light behind him. I can actually change that light to whatever color I like. I've chosen. I go for blue at the top and then red at the bottom to make this nice sort of purple hue in the middle. But maybe I'll switch it up at some point. Chat. If you can't tell, I'm very ill, chat, but I'm powering through for today's stream. So apologies if I'm sniffling. I'm sorry. Right. So, what have we got in store today? So, as usual with Supercruise News, what we like to do is talk about things that are happening in the world of Elite Dangerous, whether that's in-game news or community news. Then we go over our stellar screenshots, and then if we have time at the end of the stream, we'll jump into the game. We might do today. I honestly am not sure we'll have time. Maybe, but yeah. So speaking of game news, thank you for all the well wishes in chat. I appreciate that. Speaking of game news, Bruce. Let us discuss update 9. So, Bruce, update 9 has been, a long time coming. We're working on it. Can you give the wonderful people in the chat any indication of when update 9 is coming out?
I can actually, which is great. So we can't pinpoint an exact day. Reason for that is it might vary. So if we give you a day and then it changes by 1 or 2 days, that's totally possible. It's not a case of trying to change things until the last possible minute so much as just trying to fix as much as we can, particularly performance and optimization, which we know is very important to all of you playing Odyssey. However, we can confirm that the update is slated for next week.
Indeed. So only if everything goes to plan, only a few days to go now until update 9. And as Bruce said, update 9 will, as always, contain optimization, lots of fixes, but also a few new features coming in update 9. One of which is a new SRV. And I'm going to take some flack in the chat. We don't have anything on the new SRV today, but there's a reason for that. We're holding off. We really want to focus on the new SRV. So don't worry, there will be things about this new SRV. Today is not the day. I'm sorry, but don't worry. That time is arriving very soon, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, definitely. So I can't wait to get my hands behind. I got in trouble for saying behind the wheel last time.
You did, yes.
SRVs are not driven with steering wheels, but you know what I mean. Can't wait to sit in one of its 2 glorious seats.
Yes, true. It's two seats, very much so. The combat SRV, yes, that is the one. Okay, but aside from the SRV, there are a couple of other things coming in update 9 that we did actually want to talk about today, just to give you some insight and some news for Supercruise News. And the first of which that we're going to talk about, I'm just seeing if there's anything in chat that I want to answer before I do this. Road trip. I mean, we could do a road trip. Can it be usable while alone? Yes. You could put a pot plant, maybe. Bell Wilby says missions. Yes, missions are slightly changing in Update 9. We'll have more on that very soon. Console, no news on console, unfortunately, on today's show. We'll let you know as soon as we do. Okay, right. Let's get on with it, Bruce. So, first things first. In terms of Update 9, apart from the SRV, one of the other things coming is the Multi-Limpet controller. So this is something, Bruce, that has been asked about and requested by the community for a frankly, astonishingly long time. And we are happy to say that it is coming in Update 9.
Yeah, this is a really big one. I know players have wanted it for a long time, so it's awesome that the dev team are able to deliver it. I believe we have a little bit more info to share as well for anyone who might have questions like, what does it mean? How many limpets will it actually be able to control? What kind of ships will I be able to equip with it? So I'm excited for us to be able to share that kind of information.
Yeah, so in order to do that, we got in touch with Darren, who has been working on the Multi-Limpet controller. And we did that earlier today. So what we're going to do now is kind of new for the stream, but we're trying this out. We actually, we chatted to Darren earlier. So we're going to cut to that now. We're going to play our conversation that we had with Darren earlier today about the Multi-Limpet controller. So chat, let me know audio-wise, and I'll adjust as we go. We'll be in the chat with you. Back soon. So Darren, for anyone who hasn't seen you before, or didn't maybe tune into the launch, well, welcome back, Commanders. I'm saying welcome back. We've actually not been anywhere. We're playing this straight live midway through the stream. So we actually are welcoming back Darren. Hello, Darren.
Hello.
So Darren, before we go into what you do here, Francie, it was the last time you were on stream was the Christmas stream, the launch stream for Odyssey, right? I think that was like, how many months ago was that at this point? 6, 7?
Maybe just under that, I think.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but yeah, we're happy to have you back on. So Darren, for anyone who hasn't seen you before, or didn't maybe tune into the launch stream, what do you do here at Frontier? What's your job?
I am a senior game designer.
Nice. And what I guess a lot of people actually will probably be interested in what entails a sort of game design job. Could you give us like a quick overview of what that means?
So game design is really multifaceted. So there's lots of different moving components to it, and people have different specialities. I do a lot of systems design, which very much looks at how different parts of the game talk to each other, how different gameplay loops feed into and sort of embellish and enrich each other.
Okay.
So how the loot system might affect the way in which you might do synthesis or engineering or things like that. That's an example of system design.
Cool. So I guess this is kind of a system in itself, but maybe I'm completely wrong here. But we've actually got you here today to talk about something new that's coming in Update 9, and that is going to be the Multi-Limpet controller, which I'm pretty sure you've worked on to some extent, Darren.
Yeah, the Multi-Limpet controller is an idea which has been sort of floated around and wanted for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a chance to sort of work on it and move it forward in what's the update now? Update 9.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's coming out for Update 9, and we're quite excited for it, and we hope the players will be quite excited for it as well.
Yeah, so I guess for someone who's maybe hearing about this Multi-Limpet controller for the first time, can you explain, I guess, on a base level what it is, what it does?
Yeah, sure. So the Multi-Limpet controller is a single module which you can outfit onto your ship, and its function is that it can program different types of limpet drones without having to take up multiple slots when you're outfitting. So we've got quite a lot of different Limpet controllers in the game, and the Multi-Limpet controllers will be able to program 2 or 3 or even more types of limpets depending on what their function and multi-limpet type is.
Right. Can you give us any examples of those types? Are they finalized at this point?
Yeah, so I've got another screen
Yeah.
here with them written up just so I don't get any of them wrong. So we have a rescue type multi-limpet controller, which will give you refueling, it will give you repair limpet, and it will allow for hatch braking. So that would be the perfect sort of multi-limpet controller if you wanted to go to damaged or attacked megaships and you want to get involved with hatch breaking some of those escape pods out and
Right.
helping the rescue ships there. It also helps if you just want to be going through and checking for distress call USSs. You
Right.
can drop into those, refuel, repair anyone that needs help in that sense. That's the sort of direction we've tried to take with the multi-limpet controllers. They're sort of set up to be role fulfilling. So when you want to go out and do a certain thing, you don't have to think, oh God, I've got to fit all of these different Limpet controllers onto my ship to fulfill this one role.
Right.
You can actually just get the right multi-Limpet controller and then take on that role.
Yeah. I guess that's a decent segue into talking about the single-use Limpet controllers that still exist in the game. How have you gone about and sort of, where's the challenge in balancing this new, sort of multi-Limpet controller that can do all these things and still having the other ones in the game? Like, how do you work that out in terms of, we need to make sure not everyone just switches to this and this is the only thing that people use now?
Yeah, so we definitely didn't want to make the existing Limpet controllers redundant. That's completely not what we want to do. So we have the multi-Limpet controllers go up in size, and we have size 3s for the standard multi-Limpet controllers, and at size 7 we have the universal Limpet controller, which will be able to control and program all Limpet types. So setting them at those sizes immediately means that when you want to just grab a size 1 limpet controller for a single activity, you just want collector limpets, you're still saving size on your ship by not having to outfit a larger limpet controller. The other thing which we've made sure to do is set them up so that if you're outfitting a multi-limpet controller, which is a size 3, and let's say that you picked up the rescue type and you're going to be using the collector limpet program, if you're using that, it will be less efficient than if you were to get a standalone size 3 collection limpet controller.
Right.
That's effectively how we've balanced it. So the multi-limpet controllers will save you space, but they will be slightly heavier and they don't perform any specific task as well as a dedicated limpet controller.
Okay. So yeah, there's still definitely use for having those single types if you want them.
Oh,
Okay.
completely.
Yeah.
And you can also there's nothing stopping you getting a multi-limpet controller and then supplementing that with a standalone controller on top of that. You could say that you've got the rescue limpet controller, but you also do a bit of mining and you want a prospector controller separate, but you don't want to go out and get the mining multi-limpet controller.
Right.
So you get the prospector to just go on top.
Cool. Yeah. I guess one other question that you might be able to answer us, Darren, in terms of fire groups, do you know how that's going to work and how this new multi-limpet controller, is it just the same where we can assign a different, limpet action to each button, I guess, or how does it work?
So we've added in a new category inside your fire groups, which will be for your multi-limpet controllers. So you can only outfit one multi-limpet controller at any one time onto your ship, but you can still have as many standalone limpet controllers as you want.
Yeah.
And the way that works is when you go to your multi-limpet controller inside your fire groups, you'll see all of the available functions that multi-limpet controller can program, and you'll then be able to set a fire group for any of those functions. And the only limitation you've got there is that you can only have one program per trigger per fire group. So if you had the rescue limpet controller, you couldn't set refuel and repair onto fire group 1 with trigger 1.
Right.
You'd have to set 1 on trigger 1 and 1 on trigger
Yeah.
2, or you could separate them between fire groups. But that's it really. It's really simple to set up.
Yeah.
That's definitely what we wanted, was not to give you loads of new like UI for a single bespoke function. We
Right.
wanted it to just fit seamlessly into the game the way you normally handle your outfitting.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a pretty decent summary. Bruce, is there anything that I've missed?
No, I agree. That's a really nice overview, and it sounds like Darren's done a great job of fitting this new module into, like you said, seamlessly into the existing, not just the UI and the way of implementing it, but also, like you said, balancing the way it's going to fit with the existing controllers and that kind of thing. So really nice to know that's all accounted for.
Yeah. So I guess we'll leave it there. That was a nice description of the Multi-Limpet controller coming in update 9. So yeah, thank you, Darren. And I'm sure we'll see you again in future on stream.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And there we go. We are back. So sorry for the audio issues right at the start, but that might happen again in the stream, but I'll fix it instantly, so don't worry. But yeah, that was obviously, thank you to Darren for sparing the time this morning to come on and talk about the new Multi-Limpet controller. I hope that was insightful for you, chat. I did see a few questions in the chat in terms of whether you can have multiple Multi-Limpet controllers, etc., etc. So you can't. I think you can only have one Multi-Limpet controller, but you can then add the normal Limpet controllers on top of that, right? So you can have one Multi-Limpet controller, and then if you want, you can get, a mining Limpet controller on top, etc. So there is room to play around with, but like as Darren said in the sort of chat, there is a lot of balancing going on to make sure that you still have use for the original Limpet controllers, as well as making this, useful for a lot of players too. All right. How did you find it, Bruce? Did you enjoy that segment?
Yeah, I did. It's always nice to get a dev on. I think we actually have Darren in the chat. So hello, Darren. Thank you again for sharing those details with us. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I did, and I look very much forward to trying out those modules when they come in the update next week.
Indeed, yeah. So if Darren is in the chat, yep, thank you, Darren. And yeah, if you feel like answering anything, Darren, feel free. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Actually, while we were talking to Darren, just after we stopped recording, we also spoke a little bit about the different types of Multi-Limpet controllers. So I'm going to show a table right now. So give me a second, chat. Hopefully things don't crash. Right, so here is currently, remember this update isn't out yet, so things might change, but this is what it's looking like in terms of the Multi-Limpet controller types that are going to be available to you across the top, and the sort of, what's going to be included in those controller types. So I guess as an example, the Rescue Multi-Limpet controller will have fuel transfer, hatch breaker, and repair. So obviously if you're a hull seal or a fuel rat, you really might want to consider picking up one of these Multi-Limpet controllers, Bruce, because this is really quite an efficient system if you wanted to save space, as Darren mentioned earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the categories that they've been broken down into here, and obviously Darren gave us a use case for, I think, the rescue one. So yeah, this is what we're expecting the breakdown to be. Like Zac has said, it's work in progress. There may be changes, but we're fairly confident it will look a lot, if not something like this, as of when it comes out next week. But yeah, as you can see, universal Limpet controller there. Obviously, every Limpet will be available to those modules as long as you are packing a size 7 slot, which means you're probably in one of the big 4 ships.
Yep, indeed. Nice job, Darren. Lots of people are happy. That's good. That's good. When is update 9? Currently on schedule for next week. Very cool. Well thought out. Nice. Anything else? Anything else? No piracy type. I guess if you're a pirate, you probably take the rescue type and use the hatch breaker, right? Or the operative. Operative might be useful actually for a pirate. Looks good. Nice. Yep. yeah, I think people. Let me know, chat. What would you take if you're out to do some piracy? I think the operative controller site works well for that. But let me know if you have any different thoughts.
Yeah,
Was
I agree.
was that as an existing ship behind Darren? Yeah, I think it was a crate, I believe, that Darren was using as his background.
Yeah, I saw Darian confirm in the chat that was actually a Crate Mark II background, which people seem to really enjoy. There was as much conversation about the actual Limpet controllers as there were about Darren's background, which was fun. But hopefully we are more excited about the module. But yes, that was nice to see. I saw someone also say that we need to up our own background games, Zach. So
I mean, I guess I'm trying my best with these LEDs. Chat. I could get on the virtual background train though.
something to consider. You know who else always has really good backgrounds is Dav.
He does have good backgrounds. Yeah, that's a strong ability of Dav's.
Right. Shall we move on to our second dev segment? Because this is not the only behind the scenes conversation that we had today, is it, Zach?
It's not. No, it's not.
So earlier on, chat, we also had another special guest pre-record a little conversation with us about an Update 9 feature. And that was the wonderful Dominic Corner, who spoke to us a little bit about the Mission Givers extension, which came in Update 8, but is now being built upon in Update 9. So should we move on to that and see if you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, so I'll play the video now. Again, chat, if there's no audio, don't worry, I'll fix that almost instantly. So, yeah, enjoy.
Okay, now we are joined by our second dev guest of the stream. Welcome, Dom. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
No worries. So I think the last time we had you on was for a similar segment to this one where we talked about missions and mission changes coming in Update 8. But this time we're back to talk about Update 9. For anyone who missed you the last time, could you let us know what your title is at Frontier and maybe talk a little bit about what that means and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a principal gameplay programmer here, and I'm also the gameplay team lead on Elite Dangerous or Elite Dangerous Odyssey, as we now are. And yeah, so other than sort of leading the team and doing all the sort of administrative bits which I have to do, handing out bugs and that sort of stuff, I also spend a lot of time in the mission system. And leading the sub team for the mission system, which yeah, it's exciting times because we've got some new features in Update 8 and now in Update 9, which can't wait to sort of see out in the wild.
Yeah, definitely, very exciting. So as you've just mentioned and we mentioned previously, there are mission changes coming next week. So could you talk us through what changes players can expect in the form of missions and mission givers?
Yeah, sure. So in Update 8, we added these sort of NPCs in settlements where you could interact with them to either get items from them or deliver items to them. We've sort of extended that now in Update 9 so that you can take missions from NPCs and settlements. So if you were to go down to a settlement, you have a chance of one of the NPCs there having a mission for you, and they will sort of come out and stand and wait for you to sort of talk to them, and they'll explain what they want to do. It's similar to the social space NPCs, mission givers, but more sort of emergent in that you won't necessarily have a NPC have a mission for you, but if they do, then they'll turn up and they'll sort of put a little bit more sort of life to the settlements, a little bit more
brilliant.
sort of dynamicism.
Oh, that's really good. I think I can't repeat the word that you said so eloquently just now, but I think making things more dynamic is really sort of the heart of this idea, isn't it? How do you think having mission givers now on settlements will sort of affect the experience of Elite overall and doing missions in the game?
Well, I think it sort of gives you that sort of extra missing piece which we had, which is sort of stumbling up across people in this sort of unforgiving universe who want to give you something to do. They need something from you, and they're willing to sort of put up rewards for it. We had that to an extent in the social spaces, but those are sort of static people who sort of sit there waiting for you all the time. Whereas this
Right.
is it could just be any random person within the settlement decides, you know what, I have a mission for you. I'm gonna hand it over, and then it's it could be a different person each time that this thing comes up, and when you come back to sort of hand in that mission, that same NPC will be there for you to talk to hand it in. Which sort of it's more dynamic, it's more alive, and it gives you sort of some emergent gameplay rather than the sort of more I guess more sort of solidified, rigid flow, which we had before, where you know exactly where to go in order to get a mission.
Sure. Okay. That sounds good. So it's going to be a bit more sort of natural and organic, I guess, in the feel. So maybe you're actually going to a settlement for a completely different purpose or mission, and then you stumble across something like this one, and you get sort of sidetracked onto a different mission and that kind of thing, and hopefully a bit more natural in that sense.
Yeah, you could have been sent to a settlement by another mission, like you were told to collect an item from one of the boxes, and then you stumble upon this guy who also wants you to go out and assassinate somebody, and you're like, yeah, I'll do that as well, and you get into a sort of chain of doing different things, maybe.
Sure. And you mentioned that they're a bit less static than the other mission givers. So is that to say that they could sort of pop up in different places and even maybe move around? So you might have to locate them if you say coming back to return the mission.
So they do have sort of patrol routes and points where they try to get to once we override them, but the system is set up so that it will override an NPC who exists rather than just sort of spawn somebody
Okay.
at a specific place. So they could be on the other side of the settlement, and they decide, actually, I'm a mission giver now, so I'm going to go walk over to this place. So if you've been in a settlement for a while, they'll probably have coalesced to the points where they would go and stand.
Okay.
But they could be walking around, just sort of minding their own business, and you come and talk to them. They will be shown on your compass, though, if they have a mission to give you. So
Okay.
you won't be, entirely blind to their intentions.
Sure. Okay, that sounds good. Great. Well, I think that. I suppose I should ask. Does that cover sort of all of the main points, or were there some other gameplay elements or considerations you wanted to mention about these new mission givers?
So yeah, I think that covers most of the points. Obviously, these are in potentially live fire situations, so the people can be killed and that sort of stuff, which can put a dampener on things. But yeah, generally, I think it's touched on all stuff.
I do have a question.
Shoot.
Are these mission givers? Are they going to be independent, or will they belong to a faction? Like, will you earn sort of rep, and the rewards are similar as how it works in a station mission giver?
So they are following the same rules as settlements currently do. So they will be from the faction that owns the settlement, and will only generate missions for that faction.
Right. Yeah.
So just as if you go to a terminal in a settlement, the only missions you get are from that faction which owns the settlement. These will be staff members of the settlement doing missions for that faction.
Yep.
Okay, so they will be sort of similarly affected by the conditions which drive the kinds of missions that are offered and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it's all the same. It's the same mission system. It's the same, driving factors which influence what types of missions you get. It's just it's a different interface to them, and a slightly different way of interacting with it.
Okay. Oh, excellent. All right. Zach, any other points or questions?
No, that was my one question. I put it in.
Okay, great. Well, I'd like to take this moment then to thank you very much, Dom, for joining us and for all of the work you and your team have done to implement this in Update 9, as well as the previous work you've done to date on missions. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we're working hard to get it there. It's obviously it's not just me. It's it's there are multiple teams involved in this, from the design team, the rest of my missions team, the AI team for spawning the NPCs, giving us the ways we can interact with them to respawn them, override them, get them to do all these fancy things which we want them to do. It's a real team effort.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you to everyone involved. And hopefully, chat, you've enjoyed this overview of what to expect from mission givers at settlements in Update 9. All right. Thank you, Dom, and we'll catch you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Okay, we're back. So yeah, that was the wonderful Dom explaining the new sort of encounter mission givers that are coming in Update 9. So Bruce, you enjoy sort of leading that segment and talking to Dom about that?
Yeah, it was really enjoyable to speak to Dom and understand a bit more about how those mission givers are going to work. Hopefully, people in chat enjoyed it as well. I'm seeing lots of thank you Doms, which are obviously very well warranted. So yes, thank you for joining us on that one, Dom.
Yeah, Dom is in the chat as well, saying bye, Dom, from the past.
Great. Well, welcome to the stream, and yes, thank you for pre-recording that segment with us.
Indeed. One thing we saw a lot of in the chat regarding the Multi-Limpet controller was people asking if it was exclusive to Odyssey. So it is going to come to Horizons as well. So the Multi-Limpet controller will also come to Horizons. Okay, so that is... I mean, there are 2 dev guests for today. I hope you enjoyed that sort of new take on getting the devs involved. We certainly did. I hope the devs had a nice time doing it as well. It is something, as we always say, we do want to get the devs more involved with the streams. And actually, this is a nice way of doing it, because obviously we don't want to take time out of the busy days. And so this is a nice way of getting them on the stream when possible. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat enjoyed it. Cool. Perfect format. Nice. This is the way. Cool. Always great to see them on. Nice. Cool. Yeah, we'll keep working on it, chat. All right then. Anything, Bruce, you want to...
So there is a thing.
Sure.
I've been messaging the devs behind the scenes. So actually, Dom and Luke, our designer, have also given some additional information, because I wanted to answer this question for the chat about the mission givers. I saw some concern, and it's a natural question to ask, which is, what if I receive a mission from someone at a settlement, and then while I'm off gallivanting on whatever quest they've afforded me, someone goes and does away with the mission giver, and I've got no one to return to. It's a valid concern to have. So yes is the first answer to it. It can happen, but some affordances are made. So for the most part, being a multiplayer game, the NPCs aren't, for the most part, they're going to be present when you're present at the settlement. So it's unlikely that you are away and someone spawns the same NPC and kills them while you're trying to do something for them, and then you've got nothing to return back to. But that could well happen when you're still at the settlement. So when you're first taking the mission or handing it back in, if a fight breaks out at the settlement, or there's some kind of attack, then yes, you definitely would be incentivized to try and protect your mission giver so that you can still complete that mission. Or don't. Maybe you actually would prefer that the enemies of the settlement win at the cost of your own interests.
Indeed. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully that clears up a little bit, chat, on that question. We saw that a lot during the video. Okay, so that is pretty much everything that we've got for you today in terms of game news, Update 9 news. As we said, that is currently scheduled for next week. Yes, we've not talked about the SRV in today's stream, but don't worry, it's still part of Update 9. We're just saving it. Like, we're working on things, so don't worry. There will be much about the SRV very soon. Okay. Quickly, last thing before we go into community stuff is that I'm happy. We're happy, I guess, to say that Elite Sports, the premier sports show in all of television and internet, is returning next week. So you can also look forward to, as well as Update 9, the latest installment of Elite Sports, which is going to be a stunt show, which I'm very excited to share with you all. I'm sure you are as well, Bruce.
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of fun recording this one. It was fun, but it was also tricky. So we've tried to compile a lot of different elements to make this show happen. So
Yeah,
fingers crossed, it's enjoyable to watch.
yeah, we've tested out a lot of new things in this show chat as more of a sort of, I guess, a sort of tester of how we can pull off streams to a different degree when we're in the studio, and how we can maybe take what we do on this Elite Sports that you're going to see next week into the new year. So definitely check that out. I hope it goes well. I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, it is actually going to all be pre-recorded, just because of a lot of moving parts. But we will be obviously in the chat and talking to you all at the same time. So yeah, look forward to that next week. Oscorbius says, did anyone mention when the new update will be released? That will be on. Currently, it's on schedule for next week, Update 9. Jack's asking about console. Currently, we have nothing to say about console as we're still working on the PC version of Odyssey, getting that up to, what's the word, snuff? Up to
scratch, up to speed.
Up to scratch, yeah.
Up to, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, well, obviously everyone is aware that it is frustrating that we're not able to give you any more console information right now, but literally, we're, as soon as we can, we will do so. Has Bruce dyed his hair? I don't think so. Have you dyed your hair, Bruce?
No, I don't think I've ever dyed my hair in my life. I do have the light that is literally overhead, very strangely placed in my living room, on, so maybe that's the reason it's a bit lighter than usual.
That would explain it. Okay, shall we move on to the community news then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me move over to our content holder. Okay, so first up, we have this that has been doing the rounds on Twitter. This is from Phoebia or Photonique on Twitter, and this is some really, really nice sort of. I really don't know what the chat will probably know the word for this, right? I've called it cutout imagery, which is 100% not the word. But either way, this is some pretty astonishing work.
Yeah, these look incredible. Such a big fan of these. I don't know what I would call them exactly either. Yeah, diorama perhaps. Yeah, some kind of rendering. Whatever they are, they look incredible.
Yeah.
And I want all of them for my desk.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it fully, but I know that they also shared the sort of original photo they took of the crate. So they basically take that screenshot in game and then do some magic to make it look like this. But yeah, that's how they do it. They're really, really nice.
I noticed the crate actually is rocking the super exclusive
it is.
Frontier paint job, isn't it? So must be a proud owner of the particularly rare skin over there.
Indeed. Aramis says the Jameson crash site. Yeah, the Cobra is hovering over the Jameson crash site. Very nice. Orange Phoenix says tile art, maybe, yeah. Okay, next up, I want to give a shout out to our good friends Operation Ida. They're going to be doing the Holiday Hall, which is a fantastic name, and that is going to be taking place from the 3rd of December to the 1st of Jan. There are plenty of events involved. It's not just hauling, so if that's not your thing, there's plenty of other things you can do. So there's going to be a Guardian trip and an anti-Xeno hunt. There's going to be CQC Fight Night, which will be fun. There's going to be a David versus Goliath segment. So you'll have 30 minutes to outfit a small-sized ship, which will then be used to hunt down one of our hauling cutters. A successful kill will result in a donation to the GoFundMe, with a faster kill meaning a higher donation. So there's a lot on the line there. Definitely one to get involved with. The Beluga Limbo, Bruce, which this sounds pretty fun. This could be an Elite Sports thing. It's the description. The official description is you, a high G planet, a mountain, and a limbo bar made of belugas. Fly down a mountain and under an ever-lowering bar of belugas, but don't crash. Plan for rebuy or 5. So that's another one that I think we could definitely work with Ida and make some kind of elite sports show out of out of that. That would be cool.
That's a brilliant concept. I actually really look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
That's very clever.
And obviously there will also be a 24-hour haul, so you can help Operation Ida break the station repair record, which is pretty cool. If you want to put !up Ida, OPIDA, in the Twitch chat, you will head to the forum post about this, and if you're on YouTube, you can also find it in our forums. But if one of the mods could paste the link into YouTube, that would be great. Okay, what have we got next? Oh, now this is something that has been a thing for a while, Bruce. Ever since the ED Astro Gal map sort of extension became a thing. Now, are you aware of this, Bruce? Have you seen this kind of thing before? What I'm about to show you? Do you think?
I don't think so.
Right.
It doesn't ring any bells.
Okay, so basically, what people are doing is planning flight routes that draw images into the most popular systems within the game. So I think this extension tracks the most visited systems and then displays it on a top-down scale of the galactic map. And it's the ED Astro extension. If you put !ED Astro in the chat, you'll head to that website. And this one, I couldn't help but put this on stream when I saw it because this is hilarious. The amount of work that must go into this, just for the sake of making a meme, is honestly worth congratulations.
Yes, this is incredibly well done. Is this? I don't want to sound ungrateful, but is this all of it?
It's not all of it. No, it's funny you asked, Bruce.
So
it's funny you asked, Bruce. So we've also got this side of it, also featuring an Among Us character, but more, the main focus here is
perfection.
yes,
the cat. I was dying to see that bit. Oh, that's brilliant. That's so good.
And so if you put them both together, this is what you end up with. Across the galaxy, the cat meme, the pointing at the cat meme has been or is close to being recreated. This is just an astonishing piece of work.
That's a brilliant effort.
I really had to share it. I guess for context, here is the cat meme. If you haven't seen it before, I also took the time to put this in our in our show. So this is what they're trying to recreate, chat. If you've not seen that before, so it's a great meme, and that is the effort so far. So very well done. Keep it up, I guess. Nice.
Yeah, consider me highly impressed. Actually, That's very good. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been on the Elite Dangerous subreddit before.
Yeah,
I frequent there from time to time, and I've seen similar escapades. And okay, they're kind of funny, but this is actually next level, in my opinion. These people have gone above and beyond and just put an actual high tier meme on the galaxy. So yes, consider me highly impressed.
It's very, very impressive. Okay, next up, Bruce, we have got Commander Cassius Foe, who, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, recorded this video. Basically, it's kind of a PSA, just in case you didn't know this, Commanders. If you recall your ship and it can't find somewhere to land, you'll notice that it sort of hovers, and you might think, oh, I'm going to have to send it away and bring it back. Well, actually, you can board the ship with your SRV. If it has come down and it's hovering, basically it will use a sort of magnet system. I don't know the actual science. There's probably someone in the narrative and design team that actually know the science behind this, but basically the ship will pull the SRV up and then you'll be able to board that way. So just something in case you didn't know this was a thing.
See, I didn't know that. I mean, I don't think even the narrative team know how magnets work. I'm pretty sure no one does.
No,
but
it's with wizardry.
Like Astro says, maybe it's a tractor beam or something like that. But no, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
Indeed, yeah. So there you go, chat. The more you know. Right. Come on, Bruce. I saw you lining up to say something there.
Well, I was gonna say I've actually found myself in this position before. I think while collecting mats from a crystal site, not a very entertaining story, but I've started now. When you're trying to like jump across and collect the mats and stuff and pick
Yeah.
up cargo and that, just to make the gathering a bit more entertaining. I found myself wedged on, crystal spikes before, and this would have been a very handy thing to be aware of at the time.
Yeah, there you go. Right, next up we have got Commander Alpha Panda and their brother. They're currently undergoing a road trip, Bruce, and what their road trip is they're checking out all the new Colonia Bridge megaships one by one, which I think is pretty cool. They visited 3 so far, so yeah, I think they're going and giving a nice inspection to the 3, and they've obviously they've got a long way to go. It must be said, but they've begun, and I thought this was a really cool idea as like a sort of a road trip sort of expedition you might want to do if you've not headed that way before. This is kind of what the Colonia Bridge is for, right? It's one of the reasons for it. It's a nice way of traveling to Colonia with a stopgap, and take a breath, recharge and go again. So yeah, it's good to see that players are actually already taking advantage of these megaships that are in the game, and it's nice to see this sort of narrative that players are making already from it.
Yeah, I really like the idea of just taking pictures. Sort of I was here kind of images. That's really fun to see. So yeah, more of that, please.
Indeed. And I believe the last thing that I want to mention in today's community section is the Elite Dangerous community meetup, Bruce, which was announced, I believe, last week when myself and you were off on our holidays. But I did want to give another shout out to the community meetup. So this is basically, it's going to be happening in Cambridge on December the 10th, which I think is a Friday. Basically, we're going to be raising money for Special Effect, which is a really great charity. And you could come along. There is a limited number of tickets, but there are still some left. So if you want to come along, ! Elite Meet in the chat will take you to the I think it's Eventbrite, the Eventbrite page where you'll be able to purchase a ticket, which will, I think, enter you into the raffle, give you access to the bar, etc. The full description is there. But yeah, all the money will be going to Special Effect. There'll be prizes to win. I think Arthur's doing a Christmas quiz, which I'm certainly intrigued about. And yeah, we'll all be there, so it'll be nice to have a chat and say hello. You looking forward to that one, Bruce?
Yeah, definitely. It will be nice. Things being the way they have for the past, couple of years now, haven't really had many opportunities to meet many elite players, which is a shame because I would like to. Obviously, we'll be following all of the guidance as is expected, but yeah, I think we have more details on that in the forum posts and the Eventbrite page. But yeah, in terms of the actual social element, really looking forward to this.
Nice, cool. Yeah, so make sure to check that out if you are interested in going. Like I said, limited amount of tickets, so just be aware they might sell out. So if you are interested, give it a look. Okay, I believe that is all, Bruce, for the community stuff. Unless I missed anything that you've got.
No, I think that does just about round it up.
Cool. Okay, so last thing we're going to do today, then, looking at the time, is, as always, stellar screenshots. Bruce, can you give me the good old rundown, mate? So what is stellar screenshots? How do you get involved, etc., etc.?
Yeah, of course. I feel like I've done this so many times I should have it rehearsed by now, but I don't have like an official script. I just make it up every time. But yes, for anyone who isn't aware or hasn't taken part before, Stellar Screenshots is our celebration of, well, exactly what it sounds like, your snapshots of Elite Dangerous. It is a beautiful game, and you guys take a lot of beautiful pictures for us. So every week we put threads out on Twitter, Facebook, and there is a constant forum thread where you can submit your photos and we share our favorites from that week. Anyone who does get featured is then included in a full list, which is also posted on Instagram. And any of those featured photos receive one of 3 exclusive paint jobs that you won't receive anywhere else. That is the whole competition in a nutshell, really. And then we also show them on stream as well. Indeed,
yeah. So I guess without further ado, let's get into it. So this is from Commander Combustible Pork, which, fantastic name. Is all pork combustible?
I think anything is combustible if you're determined enough.
That's true. Is fire combustible?
I mean, that's like it's a water wet level question.
It's true. Yeah. Maybe there's no answer.
I suppose not, but but damn you for asking the question.
Anyway, great name. You've sparked some conversation, combustible pork, and obviously great image. I'm trying to figure out exactly what is happening here. I can see that the Thargoid is probably losing whatever is happening. Is that an SLF in the background?
I'm not actually sure. If anyone could enlighten us as to what that actually is up there, it seems to be shooting some sort of beam right through the Thargoid, which looks incredible.
I don't know if that's possible.
But there's so much going on here. I don't even know how to go about dissecting it for a critique. But it's an incredible shot.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Lots of people in the chat talking about combustibility. I think it's the Guardian SLF. Yeah, I think so. That's what I thought as well. Guardian Fighter. Yep. Yeah, great shot. I like the sort of blue hue that's coming off the Thargoid as well. It's not often you see that kind of color on a Thargoid.
Yeah, it's not like I say, not the color palette you'd normally associate with the bugs, but it actually looks very, very cool.
Indeed. Okay, next up we have got this one from Commander Dice Strike. Now this is one that I like to say is really well framed. You've got the star in the bottom, and then you've got you're gonna get me, chat. I was gonna default to Chieftain. Arthur's gonna have me as well. Is it a Chieftain?
Oh no, I'm not savvy enough with my alliance ships because they all do look a bit similar. It could well be a Crusader or a Challenger. I don't actually know. That's more on me than the ships.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But this is really nice. It's not a Chieftain. Looks like Crusader. Got it. Got a spoiler. It's a Crusader. There you go. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like, I think, is it the heat sinks that they've got that are, or the fuel scoop that's giving the sort of orange hue alongside the star. Very nice.
But yes, really nicely framed shot, as you've put it. There's something very pleasing about a symmetrical image.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh. Sorry, chat. Right. Next up, we have got this one from Commander Flibblesticks. Really, 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 really nice image. They've found a planet here that is really close to a star. They've positioned themselves perfectly. I believe they've used some blur here as well. They've got the planet obviously on the left. It's a really, really well put together image. Really nice. Yeah,
pretty nice. Although we obviously wouldn't recommend that you do what they're doing in the shot.
What's that? Look straight into a star.
Looking straight into a star, dead on. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Bruce is right, but it's still a great shot. Is the Commander combustible? Yes. Or Scorpius? Yes.
I mean, definitely.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice, Flibblesticks. I'm impressed. Next up, this one is from Commander Grimorius. Now, this is an interesting one, Bruce, because they've actually been a bit creative with the placement of the ship, which is, a lot of the time, we say this in the past, either the ship or the commander is usually like the main focus of the image. And you could argue that is the case here, but they've positioned it off to the right-hand side, so your eye is sort of pulled over to this sort of flare that's going on in this star. Very nice.
Yeah, they're present, but they're not the focus, which is nice because it means even though we're slightly behind where I assume the cockpit of the ship is, we're looking over their shoulder and seeing the same thing they're seeing, which is a nice little effect. It sort of brings us along with them to enjoy the view of this. Are those solar flares?
I think so.
Is that what you would call them?
That's what I would call them. Chat probably calls them something else, but that's what I would call them.
So yeah, big fan of this, and I like the monochromatic images. So
yeah,
obviously there's some blue in there, but really nice feel to this one.
Indeed, very nice. Okay, next up we have got this one from Commander Insane Golgotha. This is the scale that they've sort of captured in this one is, chef's kiss, Bruce. Chef's kiss is all I can say. And it looks like a
is this getting the chef's kiss award?
It is getting the chef's kiss from me. It looks like a sort of dual star system, as like a binary sunset they've got as well.
Oh, so it does.
I think.
Yeah. Nice little detail there. Well spotted. Yeah, it looks like there's one just creeping over the horizon and another star just next to it. But yeah, you're right. The scale and detail in this image is incredible. I can't really say much more about it. It just looks so beautiful. Really well taken.
Yep, very nice. A nice blue hue as well. Very nice. Okay, next up, this one is from Commander MS Silent. And I almost pictured this one as the bottom half of the image that we saw earlier with the Crusader. You put them both together, and you create this really cool sort of like poster for Elite Dangerous. That would be really cool. But I mean, just by itself, they've sort of captured a lot of specs, or maybe they've done this in Photoshop. I'm not sure, but it really looks sort of gritty, and like the star is putting out so much sort of heat. You can really feel that in this image.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to imagine now that you've said it, just sort of matching up the screenshots to see if we could complete a star and have the ships. But that also makes me wonder if we could make a nice collage of all of the stellar screenshots. But now I'm going off on a tangent. This image itself, yeah, really, really cool. I like the Anaconda a lot.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, is that a Taurus beacon? People are asking that on the right-hand side. Kind of looks like one.
Could be.
Kind of looks like one. If you're in the chat, MS Silent, let us know. Okay, next up we have got this one from Commander Phoenix Blue. Interesting name, actually. I wonder if Phoenix Blue is any relation to Orange Phoenix. It's strange that these commanders decide to take the Phoenix and place a color around it. As the, like, is there some kind of trend that I'm missing that this becomes a thing? Phoenix Blue. Who's next, Bruce? Like.
Maybe. I mean, you could have all the colors, I suppose.
Yeah. Phoenix Grey.
Well, that's a bit of a sad one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
What about Phoenix Purple or Phoenix Gold?
Yeah, that's true.
Probably I'd go for. But this
Phoenix
image
Gold sounds like a great name. Yeah, this image is
the image is actually really, really cool. I love the obviously the focus at the front there, and the void, using the void heart as the background is really clever and distinguishes this very nicely.
Yeah, very, very nice. Maybe the sort of Phoenix Commander should get together for a sort of elite photography club, because they're surely pretty good at it. Yeah, nice image, nice work. Okay, next up, this one is from Commander Ron Von Draper, another great name. This is sort of another one where the image sort of does the talking. We don't really have to say too much about this one, chat. Just enjoy it. I mean, it's a stunner.
Yeah, it really is. I think you're right. I think any words I have might actually ruin the moment. So let's just sit back and appreciate this image for a bit.
There you go, chat. Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, next up, this one is from Commander Simon. Looks like they're in the Crate Mark II with a pretty... Oh, is that the festive paint job? Chat, you'll know the paint job name better than me. I'm sure this is one of the sort of paint jobs that went out around one of the Christmases. Might be wrong. But either way, it's a cool paint job. And it sort of really stands out against the monotone of the rest of the image.
People are saying it's the festive special effect paint job, which is very nice. Yeah, stands out super well against the blacks and whites and greys of the background. I've already said it on this stream and also pretty much every other stream where we talk about stellar screenshots. This is my favorite use of color. Just have one object that just really stands out. Super cool image.
Indeed. And last but not least is this one from Commander Sluglife. Now they've found a very interesting planet here. It looks to me like that's kind of like, I know it's not, but it looks to me like in my head that that's sort of like an ice river that's running through this sort of mountain range. Very, very cool planet they've discovered.
Yeah, that's really nice. It's one of those landscape shots where actually there's nothing artificial in the shot. So no ship, no settlement, no person even. This is just the landscape as you would find it, untouched in the universe. And that's a very cool thing.
Indeed, yeah. So, as always, Insane Golgotha has just realised that they're featured, I believe. Cool. I'm glad you're here, Insane Golgotha. Your image was great. Well done.
It wasn't just great. It got it got Zac's Chef Kiss award of the
week.
Yeah,
so. It really did. Nice. Yeah, as Orange Phoenix is saying in the chat, all fantastic jobs as always. And yes, kudos to Paul for picking out 10. And there's always more than 10 every week that really could make it into the top 10. So Paul does a steadfast job of narrowing those down. So yeah, well done everyone that submitted. And yeah, that pretty much wraps us up for today's stream.
Yeah, I think it does. It's probably worth mentioning actually on the topic of Paul going through all the stellar screenshots with a careful eye, we're actually planning on running another Hall of Fame segment for our end of year stream. So there's a little spoiler for you folks. Paul has already started the long process of going through all of the stellar screenshots this year and trying to pick out the best ones for us to vote on. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you are as well, Zach.
Indeed, yep. It's always nice. I mean, it's always nice, and it's always very difficult when you.
Yeah, super difficult.
Last year, I remember it's one of the first things when I started. We had to vote on, the last Hall of Fame, and it's like, where do you cast your votes amongst this greatness? But yeah, Paul's doing a good job right now, and we'll try and help him out on that by our end of year stream, which is coming up very soon, actually.
I think it's going to be extra difficult this year, because the game has really changed, obviously, since the release of Odyssey, and there's just the scope for screenshots has expanded wildly. So
and
very
the
much
camera suite, the camera suite has been upgraded, so there's more sort of variety in the images that we're getting across as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think that just about wraps things up for today's stream. To recap then, so what have we gone through today, Zach?
So we initially gave you an update on Update 9. It is currently in the works and on schedule for release next week. If that changes, we'll obviously let you know, but that is currently the plan. And then we talked a little bit about some of the features coming in Update 9. So obviously alongside optimization and fixes, there is going to be the Multi-Limpet controller, which we chatted to Darren about. And there's going to be some more mission extensions, which we chatted to Dom about. So definitely go and check out the VOD if you missed that. It's definitely worth, it's about 20 minutes of conversation with the devs that I think is pretty insightful and worth listening to. And finally, we announced that Elite Sports is back next week, probably next Tuesday, which we're really looking forward to. It's very different. We pre-recorded the whole thing. We're doing some new stuff. Maybe it will work. Maybe it won't. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be a good show. So yeah, hopefully see you there. But yeah, that is everything for today. Any words of wisdom to sign off as always, Bruce?
You say as always, but I never say anything wise.
One day
I'll come up with a truism that will last the ages, but for now it's just I hope you all had a good time, and I very much look forward to seeing you for our Thursday stream in 2 days' time. So until then, have a good evening, everyone. Take care, and a big 07 from us.
Yeah, 07.